its mental perception, experience, or interest. Horizons was an attraction rooted in Walt Disney's ideas for the future. Based as a sequel to the Carousel of Progress, it was centered around families and their lives in the future. It changed Disney's dark ride landscape and innovated new theme park technologies that are now commonplace. Let's start with its conception and creation, not to be biblical. At the start of the Epcot project, the idea of pavilions with varying themes was an important one. In Future World, then and now, each pavilion has a theme, allowing Epcot to stay relatively the same, but we all know that's only half true. Horizons, proposed at conception as Century 3, was the idea for the Space Pavilion. Boy, if they only knew how far it would evolve. The name Century 3 evolved from the idea that this was the future of America, the third century. The name was changed to Future Probe because of the Imagineering team realizing people coming into the park from other countries would not understand this reference. The final name choice was Horizons. The original concept of the ride came from Reginald Jones and Jack Welch, the then current CEO and then future CEO of General Electric, the sponsor of Horizons. Their proposed concept was to focus on Thomas Edison's work and the origin of General Electric, later changed to the future of America, and finally to the future of the world. Due to the idea and sponsor being found so late in Epcot's construction, the attraction opened along with the Imagination Pavilion a year to the day of Epcot's grand opening, October 1st, 1983, after $60 million spent on construction. It was located between World of Motion and the Universe of Energy, and later Wonders of Life. The design of Horizons building was meant to look like a spaceship, although to me it looks like a square oval with a boxy triangle attached to the back, although it's still beautiful. But later, the overall structure of the building would lead to problems as well as the placement of the attraction. The sequence of Horizons went something like this. I wouldn't know. I never got to ride it. 2004 baby problems. The lobby and queue. People waited in the Futureport terminal to board the attraction. As soon as you walked in, you were greeted with the General Electric logo and the attraction's classic motto originally stated by Walt Disney, "If we can dream it, we can do it." The attraction song played repeatedly while you waited, also known as the most annoying but inspirational song ever. Loading area. You were then led onto a moving walkway, much like the ones found on the Haunted Mansion and other Omnimover attractions, and into your classic orange and black ride cars. The unique thing about the Horizon ride car was it fit 4 people rather than the normal 2, making it a faster loading process and shorter wait. Looking back at tomorrow. Looking back at tomorrow was the first section of the ride. It showed what people's ideas of the future were, like from back in the days of Jules Verne until the 1950s. The ride moved past huge OmniMax screens, groundbreaking technology at the time. Sea, space, desert. You are taken through settlements underwater, in space, and in the desert. You see children learning underwater, growing oranges in the desert, and different family members singing happy birthday via Skype technology in space. Choose your way home. After seeing these 3 places, the people in your car can decide how they want to travel back to the Futureport, through Mesa Verde, Brava Centauri, or Seabase Alpha. The videos were presented on OmniMax screens and were shot using small-scale models for over a year in a Burbank airplane hangar. Exit. The ride exited out through a rainbow tunnel, much like the one in the old ImageWorks at Journey into Imagination. At the end of the tunnel, there was a seemingly holographic picture of the General Electric logo before you exited outside. Now for the slow, painful decline. Come on, Disney, you could have at least made it quick, like pulling off a band-aid. On September 30th, 1993, General Electric ended its sponsorship of Horizons rather than renewing it. All signage was removed from the ride, and it kept operating as usual. At the time, Horizons was the only attraction in Epcot without a sponsor. Ideas about turning the pavilion into an originally planned space pavilion were thrown around, but nothing was finalized. In late 1994, Horizons closed its doors, until it reopened to the surprise of many in January 1996. The Transportation Pavilion and Energy Pavilion were both down, so Horizons reopened as a seasonal attraction. It was assumed Horizons would reclose when Test Track was set to open in 1997, but it had so many delays that it seemed it was going to stay open forever. January 9th, 1999, Horizons closed. It stayed quietly closed for around 8 months until September 23rd, when all signage was removed. On October 1st, it was rumored press rode the ride at night for seemingly no reason. It proved that the ride was still intact and gave many fans hope it would stick around. Then rumors swirled that it was being dismantled, and a picture was taken of the ride vehicles being taken on a truck. On April 20th, Disney announced that Horizons was going to be demolished to make way for Mission Space. Now here's some nice things people have said about Horizons.
I loved Horizons because it was so optimistic about our future, and I think as a ride, it perfectly embodied what Future World was originally supposed to be.
Since the closing, there has been much speculation as to why Horizons closed and reopened in that whole saga. Part of it was probably that Horizons lost its sponsorship. Having sponsorships helped Disney pay for the maintenance and upkeep of the ride. Most pavilions had their sponsors so they could afford to maintain them. Another part of it was Horizons was growing more and more dated as the years went by. Things that had once been something we wouldn't see for many years were coming closer and closer. The technology used in the ride became more outdated. The last thing was that the building was not safe. The building had a risk of collapsing in on itself due to its shape, and the Omnimover ride system as well as the 3-story steel frame contributed as well. There was also an emerging swampland sinkhole under the back left-hand side of the building. In 2003, the HP-sponsored Mission Space opened to the public, becoming one of the longest waits at Epcot and leaving nothing from Horizons in its path. So where are the remnants of this attraction? Well, some can be found over at Hollywood Studios' One Man's Dream attraction. Some have also been seen at Disney's D23 conventions, and even at Disney parks around the world. I hope you enjoyed this Disney video. Please stick around and look out for more Disney content. Hopefully.